Welcome to the 7 Deadly Sins of Home Selling video tutorial. If you're getting ready to sell your home, you'd be wise to avoid making these critical blunders, or surely you'll have to atone for your sins. And how will you atone for your sins? By watching your hard-earned equity go up in flames. That's right, home equity you spent years to accumulate will be wiped away in minutes if you commit any one of these sins. And then you know what will happen? You'll get furious that you squandered away your money when you didn't have to. And then you know what will happen? You'll feel ashamed that you let all that money slip through your fingers. And then you know what will happen? You'll go insane, simply because you didn't take the time to learn about the 7 deadly sins of home selling. Don't go insane. Avoid these 7 deadly sins of home selling. Sin number 1, the biggest sin of all, overpricing your home. I don't care how nice your home is. I don't care how much money you put into it. I don't care how desirable your neighborhood is. There exists a price above which your home will not sell, period. And if you price your home there, you're screwed. It will just sit there until enough time passes that some buyers start sending you some lowball offers to see how desperate you are. If you're serious about selling your home, then the number 1 sin you must avoid is overpricing your home. So what should you do instead? It may seem counterintuitive, but you'll sell your home for the highest price by initially underpricing it slightly. Why is that? Well, there's 2 reasons. And the first one is pricing information. I hate to tell you, but the buyers who are interested in buying your home know more about home pricing in your neighborhood than you do. And you know why? Because if they're like most buyers, they've spent every day of the last 3 months searching for and possibly bidding on homes for sale in your neighborhood. They know when a home is overpriced by $1,000. And they also know when it's priced to sell right now. Buyers are too smart to bid on an overpriced home, but they're eager to bid on ones that look like a deal. Your goal as a home seller is to get your home to look like a deal. And that leads to the second reason you'll get a higher price by initially underpricing it. The best time to get someone to make a higher bid is after they've made an emotional commitment to the outcome. You see, when a buyer submits an offer to purchase your home, they don't just send you a piece of paper with some numbers on it. They actually make an emotional attachment to buying your home. They see themselves living in it. They've already picked out the new paint colors. They don't want to go through the devastation of losing out on your home. Once a buyer is emotionally committed to buying your home, they're far more likely to increase their bid. Remember, you don't have to accept any bid a buyer makes. But if you get multiple bids, you can ask each of them to submit a best and final offer. Getting interested buyers to make an offer on your home and then instigating a bidding war among them is how you get top dollar for your home. And the only way you can do that is by initially underpricing your home slightly. Enough said. Let's move on to sin number 2. Sin number 2, you'll hire a lousy real estate agent. Trust me when I tell you all real estate agents are not created equal. The challenge, of course, is that up until recently, there was no objective way to know if a real estate agent was any good before you hired them. So, what do most home sellers do? They use a referral. A terrible mistake. Why is that? Selling your home is a business transaction, and you need to be able to interact with your agent in a business-like manner, which may even include firing them if it comes to it. And there's no way you can treat a referral like a business person because you'll be too damn worried about maintaining the relationship. So, what should you do? Learn to conduct due diligence on real estate agents before you hire them. With all the information freely available on the web today, you can learn all about real estate agents. You can see how many homes they've sold, how quickly they've sold, if they've sold for over the asking price, how good their marketing was, how good their negotiating was. You no longer have to take anyone's word for it. You can now do background checks on agents to see if they're any good. Okay, on to the next sin. Sin number 3, my personal favorite, paying a 6% commission. Seriously? Is there any home seller out there that still believes you have to pay 6% commission to sell your home? I'll let you in on a little secret. That 6% is a made-up BS number from 100 years ago. It doesn't mean anything. It could just as easily have been 4% or 9%. It was just some random number someone settled on a long time ago. And yet some home sellers continue to take it as gospel. Don't you believe it? Nobody in their right mind pays 6% commission anymore. It is literally a waste of your money because you don't have to do it. Of course, some agents will try and scare you by telling you you get what you pay for. Now, How can that be true when the best agent and the worst agent both charge 6%? Surely at least one of them is a ripoff. Don't you buy it. Smart agents know the jig is up and are more than happy to help you sell your home for a fair commission. So, what should you do? Find agents who don't charge 6%. There are flat fee agents who do the same thing as the other agents, but instead of charging you 6%, they charge you a flat fee of, say, $3,000 to $5,000. That'll save you a ton of money, especially on more expensive homes. There are fee-for-service agents. They charge you by the hour for only those things you need done. Maybe you only need 20 hours of an agent's time and they charge $150 an hour. That's only $3,000. There are also discount agents who charge 1.5% or maybe even 1%. Bottom line, there's no reason to pay 6% commission ever. If you do, you're just being careless with your money. On to sin number 4. Blindly trusting your real estate agent. Real estate agents are a lot like financial planners. It's not that they're bad people necessarily, it's just that the way the industry is set up, there are a lot of conflicts of interest. Real estate agents are constantly being put in a position where giving you one piece of advice makes them more money than giving you another. So, what can you do? You need to understand the conflicts of interest between you and your agent. They actually have a name for it. It's called the principal-agent problem, where you're the principal and your agent is, well, the agent. Actually, this happens anytime you depend on an expert for advice, not just real estate agents. You see, you never really know if the advice the expert is giving you is in your best interest or theirs. I can tell you this, the more you know about the home selling process, the less chance your agent will have to give you compromised advice. On to sin number 5, allowing dual agency. What's dual agency? It's when your real estate agent also represents the buyer. Why does your agent want to represent the buyer? To get both commissions, of course. Without going into the gory details, when you allow dual agency, you and the buyer get screwed. Think about it. How can one person represent the best interests of competing parties? They can't. So neither you nor the buyer gets honest representation. The consumer advocate group CARE calls dual agency the biggest scam in real estate. Now, a lot of agents will offer you a discount on the buyer's agent's commission if you allow them to double dip. Don't fall for it. You'll lose more money in negotiating by not having fair representation than you could ever save on commission. So what should you do? Forbid dual agency. It's not an option. Don't even ask. In fact, if a real estate agent I was considering hiring asked if they could do dual agency, I'd fire them on the spot and find a new one. Any agent that even shows interest in dual agency is telling you loud and clear they care more about themselves and their money than they do about you. Run like hell. On to sin number 6, using affiliated service providers. What's an affiliated service provider? When you sell your home, you're going to need the help of more than just a real estate agent. You'll need an escrow company, a title company, a pest control company, and on and on. When you hire a real estate agent, they work for a broker. And there's a pretty good chance that that broker owns an escrow company and a title company and a pest control company. Why they do that isn't hard to understand. They want to make money being a one-stop shop for all your home selling needs. And since most home sellers don't know any of these service providers, they tend to take the path of least resistance and use the ones recommended by the agent, which just so happens to be the ones owned by their broker. But that's a really bad idea, for 2 reasons. First, they're a ripoff. Research has shown that because they know consumers who use these services won't shop around, they artificially raise the prices. So, if you use an affiliated service provider, go ahead and assume you're getting ripped off. But that's not even the biggest problem. By using affiliated title and escrow companies, you destroy the integrity of these vital checks and balances. You see, title companies and escrow companies exist for one reason: to stop a deal if something's wrong. They're there to protect buyers and sellers. But affiliated service providers may not stop a bad deal because they owe an allegiance to the broker who stands to make money when the deal closes. Using affiliated service providers is just like dual agency. The broker wins and the buyer and seller lose. So what should you do? Use independent service providers. They'll cost you less and you'll get more honest service. Don't let anybody bully you into using affiliated service providers. And finally, the 7th deadly sin: not learning to use the new technology. In the past, you had to use an agent because they had access to all the information. Today, you can know everything your agent knows in a matter of seconds, right at your fingertips, for free. What kinds of things? Well, what other homes are on the market like yours right now and how much are they asking? What did other homes like yours sell for recently? How fast did they sell? How much did they sell for relative to the asking price? And so on. The bottom line is you're now in a position to make really informed decisions and not have to rely on anybody else if you learn to use the freely available information on the web. You must learn to leverage this new technology to sell your home fast and for top dollar. The good news is it's really easy to do. So, there you have it, the 7 deadly sins of home selling. Let's do a quick recap. The first deadly sin, don't overprice your home. Number 2, don't hire a lousy agent. Number 3, don't pay 6% commission. 4, don't blindly trust your real estate agent. 5, do not allow dual agency. 6, do not use affiliated service providers. And 7, do learn to use the new technology. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you did, feel free to share it with others. And if you want to supercharge your home selling knowledge, I recommend you check out the new Rules of Home Selling course on Udemy. It's the best 2-hour investment you'll ever make.